Good morning, everybody. Just a couple things that I wanted to show you guys today. We have been working on Punnett Squares as of last week. Today we're going to be using a new program called Kami. Some of you may be familiar with it, especially if you have Mrs. Alms or Miss Dupre. I know that they were using this type of program. So I just kind of wanted to go through and show you guys and kind of walk you through the first couple examples of each of the things you're going to be doing today and show you Punnett Square and how to do that. So for Kami, you guys, once you are here, this is kind of what it's going to look like for you as well. You're going to have this toolbar that's over here on the side. It's pretty cool because we can take any PDF that you normally can't type on, and you can type on it. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of start explaining, and then I'll show how I write into the document. So here we go. For each genotype, you guys, is a word that you're going to hear a lot. Genotype is the letter combinations. So when we use those capital letters and those lowercase letters, like big A, that means that they have two dominant traits. They got one dominant from mom and one dominant from dad, okay? Or one from the male, one from the female. So remember that capital letters represent the dominant trait and lowercase letters represent the recessive trait. And you always have two, okay? Because you get one from mom, one from dad. One from mom, one from dad. One from mom, one from dad, okay? So when we say genotype, we're asking you for the letter combinations of the organism, okay? Now, below determine what the phenotype would be. Phenotype is another word you need to get familiar with, and that is the physical characteristics. So basically, because of what genes it got from its family, what does it look like? Okay, so phenotype is its physical traits. What does it look like? So for our first example, it says purple flowers are dominant to white flowers. Okay, so if this organism, this flower, is big P, what color is it going to be? It's going to be purple, okay, because it's two dominant traits. It's all it can be, okay? If I go over to this one and it's little p, which means two recessive traits, okay, the recessive color in this case is going to be white, and it can only be white. So it got white from mom and it got white from dad. So over here, there's this little text box, the T. You're going to click on it, and then you're going to click on the line where you would like to type, and you can go ahead and just type white, okay? And then you can move it around wherever you want it, and you're good to go. Okay, if you want to delete it because you think it's wrong, you're going to click on it and click the X. Okay, all right, so I did the first few for you guys just to make sure that you understood what it is that you were doing. You have to read the above sentence that tells you the traits and what was recessive and what is dominant for you to be able to fill in what the genotype would be. Okay, all right, next. So it says for each of the following, write whether it is homozygous dominant, heterozygous, or homozygous recessive. You guys, the prefix homo means same, okay? So that means that the person or the organism you're talking about has two of the same genes, okay? If they are homozygous dominant, that means they have two of the same dominant genes, so two capital letters. If they are homozygous recessive, they have two of the same lowercase letters or recessive genes, okay? Heterozygous, the prefix hetero means different, okay? So when they have two different letters, like big T, little t, they have a dominant, but they also have a recessive, okay? They got two different traits from their parents. So you are going to go through these and you're going to fill out if they are homozygous dominant, two capital letters, heterozygous, capital letter, small letter, or homozygous recessive, two lowercase letters. Okay, so you're going to write those out right here. Next, some of you guys were doing an amazing job with your Punnett squares last week, and that's awesome. Some of you guys are a little confused still, so I want to make sure that you understand how to do this. All right. Okay, so it says the female dog is heterozygous. We just talked about that word, so we can go up to the top if you forget. Heterozygous means two different alleles for a trait or two different genes for a trait. The male dog is homozygous recessive, so two of the same, both recessive. Figure out the percentage or ratio of possible phenotypes and genotypes of their puppies by using a Punnett square. So it says in dogs, the gene for fur color has 2 alleles. The dominant allele is capital F, and that is gray fur. So if they have a capital F, they have gray fur. And the recessive allele is little f, codes for black fur. Okay, so gray is dominant over black fur. Okay, in these dogs. All right, so we need to figure out the Punnett square. So it says place the alleles for the male parent below, 1 allele on each line. So our male parent right here, male dog, is homozygous recessive. So we're going to put 2 lowercase f's. Okay, and then over here we have to place the alleles for the female parent. Okay, so the female parent is heterozygous, so 2 different, big F, little f. All right. Now, we have to start here before we can figure any of this out, okay? So we have to put the male and the female in, and we have to cross them and see what their offspring are going to look like. Over here, I put a little comment to remember that each box gets 1 allele from the male and 1 from the female. So we're always going to bring 1 down and 1 over. So this would be big F, little f. We're going to bring 1 down, 1 over. So big F, little f. Then this one, we are going to bring 1 down, 1 over, little f, 1 down, 1 over, little f, okay? So now we have our Punnett square filled out correctly. And so now we can answer some questions about it. So if we go over here, it says percentage of possible genotypes. Genotypes are the letters. So if we look over there, how many big F's do we have? How many homozygous dominants do we have? Okay, we have none. There are 0 big F's over here. So we're going to put 0%. Okay, next we have big F, little f. Okay, so heterozygous. How many heterozygous ones do we have? Big F, little f, there's 1. Big F, little f, there's 2, and that's it. So 2 out of 4 would be half, 50%. Okay, then we have little f, How many do we have? We have 1, 2. So again, 2 out of 4 is 50%. So we're going to put 50%. Okay, that's half. All right, so we have our genotypes figured out. Now we need to know the phenotypes. What are they going to look like? What color are those dogs going to be? So percentage of possible phenotypes. Black fur, okay, would be what? So you guys have to remember that black fur is recessive and gray fur is dominant. So if we go over here, how many have black fur? This one would have gray. This one would have gray. This one would be black because it has 2 recessive traits. This one would also be black, 2 recessive traits. So we have 2 out of 4 that are black, which would be 50%. The gray fur, okay, we have a dominant here and we have a dominant here, and that's it. So 2 out of 4 again, 50%. Okay, and that's all you guys have to do. So you're going to be doing these down here below the same way. So you need to put the male, the female, you need to cross them, and then you have to figure out the percentages, okay? And remember, it's just like quarters. So 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%, okay? So that should make it easier than using the ratios. I think some of you guys were confusing the ratios also in the last examples that we were doing last week. All right, you guys, so I hope that this helps. I'm going to be telling you to come here if you have any questions. I want you guys kind of going through this with me one time through. I think it'll make a lot more sense. So I hope you guys have a good day. This is not due until Wednesday. You guys have 2 days to do it. So if you need to go back and rewatch videos or go back and look at the reading, you have time to do that. It will be due on Wednesday. So we will be working on this again tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, reach out, let me know, and I will be here to help you. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.